Dr. Robert Grechesky has been director of bands and professor of music at Butler University since 1973. After 40 years of teaching music education, instrumental conducting, euphonium, and band history and literature, Dr. Bob, or Grech as his students call him, leaves behind a remarkable legacy both on and off the conductor's podium. He has conducted the Butler Symphonic Band and Wind Ensemble on 4 European tours, the first in 2000, with concerts in Vienna, Prague, and Budapest. In addition to his work at Butler, he is the artistic director and conductor of the Indianapolis Symphonic Winds and the Indianapolis Brass Choir. But one of his most influential positions has been his work as director of the Butler University Marching Bulldogs between 1973 and 1989. In his first 3 years as director, Dr. Grechesky took the band from 33 members to 120, and that was only the start of his 16-year run, which paved the way for the marching band you see at Butler today. On Saturday, October 19, 2013, current Marching Bulldogs and alumni from across the country came together for one final halftime show featuring drills and musical arrangements all created by Dr. Bob. Over 100 alumni made the trip to give their revered director this final marching send-off, and each came with their own stories to tell.
I have a very fond memory of, and Grech said to me today, he said, I didn't schedule, or I didn't chart you into the show, but just go, you know, do whatever you did like you used to. And I said, yeah, I will. But there was one time he charted me in, and I was the steam for the locomotive, so I got to, even though I was normally twirling, I got to hold a fire extinguisher and pull it on cue to be the steam in the locomotive. And that was fun.
Yeah, I also remember pyrotechnics, so he was fond of lots of explosions. So we had a wonderful time, and again, this is one of our cherished memories of Butler.
I remember him eating lunch during our senior level kind of tech music ed class, and he usually had a salad of some sort, and I was always very jealous that he actually packed his lunch and ate well. So no, I have good memories of him. He had a wonderful balance of humor, and he expected a lot out of us, and so I took a lot of what he and the other folks did here in my own teaching when I was a band director.
Being in Wind Ensemble is always a lot of fun. You know, he brings a great sense of humor and a great work ethic to the group. You know, I think he's able to really push the group, you know, so that we're always at our best, you know, and just, he's always there for us, you know, like I've gone to him different times, you know, with different stuff, you know, just because he's a mentor to me, you know, he's someone that I feel comfortable around, you know, feel that he's personable, you know, so I'm able to tell him stuff that I wouldn't tell other people.
I was in the wind ensemble for 4 years, and when I came in, I didn't know a lot about wind band music or conducting or really anything, and Dr. Grechesky was just really passionate about that stuff, and I learned a lot in the wind ensemble and then in his conducting class, and then finally in his history of wind band literature class, which was one of my favorite classes at Butler. And then by the end of my time at Butler, it was like a thing that I was really passionate about, so it was really neat.
My favorite memories of Grech, of course, would be his blue shorts that he wore from August until the end of November. Whether it was 95 degrees out for practice or snowing, it was always the same outfit, and I'm surprised he's not wearing them now. And he would always say, "It's perfect marching band weather, people, come on, let's go, it's perfect." And one other thing, I played the clarinet for 3 years. I'm terrible at it, but I always had to march in the back rank because that's where the clarinets and flutes march. Before my senior year, I asked him, I said, "Grech, if I learn how to play trumpet over the summer, will you let me march in the front row?" He said, "You learn how to play the Butler War Song and the Star Spangled Banner, and you can play trumpet in a band." So I did.
The entire show was put together in a single 90-minute rehearsal the morning of the performance. As if the task wasn't challenging enough, the volunteer band had to endure 40-degree temperatures and rain for the entire rehearsal. But as Dr. Bob had insisted time and time again, it never rains on the Butler Band. So despite the heavy humidity, students and alumni alike kept on smiling and laughing as they reacquainted themselves with their instruments and pulled together to learn their parts.
Something about marching band and kind of shared suffering that creates a bond, it's pretty fun. And I just cannot believe that all these people came back today from wherever they were. It was it's pretty touching actually. But my memories of the marching band are all really good memories.
I loved the practice sessions, the camaraderie, getting together, with 100 of my closest friends, in the mornings. I loved seeing Grech in the rain wearing his blue shorts, popping his knees up in the air. I loved doing knee bows into the mud. So, it was just a wonderful experience with just an outstanding group of people, and something that I treasure to this day. So we wanted to come back and say thank you to Dr. Grechesky.
Dave McCullough sent out a form for everybody to fill out if they were going to come, and if they couldn't come, there was a little place where they could write a little note to me, and some of their memories and recollections were like, I don't remember that, but you realize that things you say and you don't even remember what you said have an impact on people later on, and they remember all that stuff. It's just great to see them all.
And it wasn't just past and present students that contributed. Several current Butler faculty and staff came to assist in this unique performance, including Butler President Jim Danko and current marching band director David McCullough. Board of Trustees member Howard Schrott, the Butler Band's announcer for many years under Dr. Grechesky, stepped back behind the microphone to add his voice to the show.
New York City, their zany antics kept millions entertained. Of course, we're talking about the Marx Brothers, Chico, Harpo, Zeppo, and ladies and gentlemen, here's Groucho.
When the kids in the current marching band thought that it would be a neat idea for me to do this, I thought that's really cool. And today's marching bands are not like what we used to do. So kind of the story was we're going old school, and I just wanted to kind of recreate a bunch of the stuff that we did when I was doing the marching band. And the whole show concept is different from what we used to do to what they do now. The drill is different, the whole show concept is different. I wanted to put together, not exactly like a highlight show, but I wanted to kind of go back and pick things that were really highlights, what I thought would be highlights that would entertain the audience, that would still make a show that would have unity, that would make sense from beginning to end, and that would have a theme, because we used to do theme shows all the time. So we had to think about how the bits that I wanted to do could be incorporated into an overall theme, and we came up with this That's Entertainment show. So it's loosely a history of entertainment. But I wanted a chance to get in, we did our Groucho Marx bit, and we did a skit on the old movies with a lot of props and stuff, and I wanted to get in a drill that used a tap step and our signature knee bows at the ending with a big finish, and so we were able to incorporate all that stuff into the show today. And for us to put this all together in an hour and a half and learn it from scratch, that was pretty cool. That was fun.
Good-hearted humor was often a hallmark of the Butler Band performance under Bob Grechesky, and after the band's final note, Dr. Bob was met with a surprise that fit him and his always upbeat personality perfectly.
We direct your attention to the bottom of the grandstand, where Butler University President Jim Danko and current Butler University Marching Band Director David McCullough are now proud to present Dr. Grechesky with a laurel and hearty handshake.
I want to thank Dave McCullough and the current marching band for putting this together, because it was, I think if I had known how much work they had to do to make this happen, I would have said don't do it, because they've been phenomenal to put this together. But for the kids in the band, some of my students are my best friends. In fact, a lot of the students I had are still my friends, and so those kinds of bonds, you can't buy that kind of stuff. It's just thanks for the memories, thanks for the friendship, and to see all these people come back is really heartwarming.
large hogs, small hogs, all are being called. Summons to the very breadbasket of our country. From the West Coast, the East Coast, they approach us now, for truly it is hog calling time in Nebraska. And it's 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 hog calling time in Nebraska.
It's the 80s, boys and girls.